All right, shalom, shalom. Ka'alayim la Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Machakudash. Peace and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the true teachers of all Israel. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, coming with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Machakudash to feed the Lord's flock with knowledge and wisdom and understanding. And recently, I came across this trailer for this movie that's coming out on December 25th. All right, it was a Shakespearean play called Macbeth, or the tragedy of Macbeth. And when you go into this, trailer, all right, I'm not gonna play the trailer, but what I'm gonna do is, bear with me 1 second, brothers. Yeah, we can do it like that. All right, just let me know, Baba Kushah, shalom to the brother and his likeness, Shasharala. If you could let me know if my audio is coming in, brother, I would appreciate it. But getting to it, all right, this is the trailer for Macbeth. I paused it so you can see that it's Denzel Washington, all right? He's one of the best actors out, all right? And it's fitting because this is a movie, or this is a play about a king of Scotland. I'm gonna go into a little bit of history into that Lord's will, all right, touching upon that. And we understand that Scotland, the word Scot itself means black. All right. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and grab that real quick. All right, let's see. It says Scot meaning. Let's see. Scott, I should go to the etymology. All right. So the Lord is having it come out. You know, the Lord is having it come out. All right, it's having the information come out. Yeah, a lot of times it's kind of hard to see where the etymology comes from, but I do know that Scott is referring to black. All right. Let's see. Maybe it'll come up there. Yep. Well, either way, I'll just keep going. I want to read this. First Maccabees 3:48. It says, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images." All right. So this is exactly what they were doing in the time of the Greeks. And who's the main one responsible for this? Esau. Esau is the one that mainly sought to paint the likeness of his images. All right. In other words, it was dark images of the saints, of the Israelites, of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who they ignorantly called Jesus. And what they did was they painted over all these images, these devils, and they made them to look leprous. All right, because we understand that leprosy, and the beautiful thing about it is, we can go into all this, right? And this just further backs up what the scriptures already say. The ultimate source of it all is really in the scriptures, but we just bring these things out to further drill in the point. All right, and sometimes having a visual aid or things of that nature kind of help to express it better to brothers, so you could so we can understand better. All right, but again, they painted over the images, the dark images of the saints, and they made them to look leprous, like Edomites. All right, because they have a disease called leprosy. As a matter of fact, let's get that in Exodus 4:6. All right, it says, "And Yahweh said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow." You see, so that's showing you what leprosy is. Leprosy is when you lose your pigmentation, the lack of melanin, all right, which all Edomites, to one extent or another. Now, you have certain tears that may have an Edomite man that lays with a Jake woman, or a woman of a dark nation, or a woman of a dark complexion, period. And what's going to happen? The child may come out looking dark and may have certain dark features, but ultimately you are your father's seed. But by and large, Edomites have a skin disease called leprosy. All right. That's why when we go into Genesis, and this is the beautiful thing of it, the scriptures alone speak for what it really is. The scriptures alone speak for what it really is. Okay. We really don't need anything else, but we still use it anyways, and it's good to go into other things, to research. All right. And it just further proves the point and just increases our faith anyways. But this is Genesis 25 and 23. And Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, right? The nation of Israel and the nation of Edom, Jacob and Esau. And two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. The elder Esau came out first, and so he's destined to serve us. And in the dark ages, guess what? The Edomites were serving us. All right. And the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, because you had those garments that it was like different animal pelts and skins and so on and so forth that it would paint them red. All right. There's no baby, really comes out hairy. Even an Edomite, they might grow up to be hairy, but really it's talking about them being red like that in that sense. All right. So they have that red pigmentation. And they called his name Esau. And what does Esau mean? Ishashua, which means wasted away is he. All right. So just to touch upon those few precepts now, back into this. All right. Macbeth, which again, this takes place in 11th century Scotland, which we understand had a black nobility, so-called black nobility. All right. The Moors. And when you tell a lot of people, even though a lot of our people are waking up to the facts, Esau has gone through extensive lengths to hide all this history. Okay. And these Edomites, they get very hurt and offended, which, fuck them, but it just goes to show how it's really that hatred that they have in themselves, in them for us is still prevalent. Okay. Because for you to even be depicted as noble, all right, a so-called black, Latino, or Native American, all right, an Israelite of a darker complexion being portrayed as such, they get very offended and hurt. All right. But hey, guess what? The truth hurts. The water, brother, the water. All right. Yep. Oh, that's a good one. In his likeness, Yasharallah, Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right. All right. So he covered the face of the judges. Beautiful precept. Who are the judges? The Israelites. All right. Apostle Paul mentioned that, you're going to judge angels. Are you not fit to judge the smallest matters? Roughly paraphrasing it. That's in 1 Corinthians. All right. But the earth given into the hand of the wicked, that means Esau is in the rulership. He is the wicked. All right. The Edomites. All right. It says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right. Who else is the wicked? It has to be him. All right. Now, going into a couple little quick, I'm going to kind of skim through these. I'm not going to read them, but y'all brothers see the page. You could look these things up easily with a Google search, All right. It says here, Afro Europe. This is actually, I'm going to definitely bookmark that, but it says, I'm going to add that to the bookmarks now, matter of fact. All right. It says Afro Europe, Black history, Black European nobility. Okay. Tucked away. Black nobility in Europe. Yes. According to Black Dutch researcher Egmond Codfried, and author of the book Belle van Zuylen's Forgotten Grandmother. There was black nobility in Europe, but their history and images were later carefully tucked away, and erased from history. And people say, well, I didn't read that in my history book, because the so-called white man wrote that book. Big dummy. Here it is, the man that oppresses you, hates you, enslaved you. You think he's going to tell you that you ruled Europe? That you were in a position of nobility, All right, of course not, because he wants you to. He still wants to stick to that lie that you're a slave and a savage. All right. His claims are controversial and, of course, not accepted by European, aka Edomite historians. All right. African facial features. Godfrey has systematically studied hundreds of paintings of famous and less famous nobility. He regularly stumbled upon people who looked black or colored. Although they were considered white, they clearly had African facial features, which they really mean Jake. All right. Israel. Because we know African goes back to a so-called white man. All right. That's another byword that they put on you. Black, African, all those things. We are the Israelites, man. All right. And the so-called blacks, the so-called American black man, West Indian black men, and the Haitians are the Southern Kingdom, and they were referred to as the Jews. All right, not Jewish. They were referred to as the Jews. All right, the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Benjamin, and the tribe of Levi. All right. It says here about this his work. He writes this study of historical sources and literature on black and colored historic persons was inspired by the chance finding of a portrait of Maria Jacoba van Gogh. All right, Jacoba, see how that's spiritual. We get a view of the problems and of the methods to identify these Europeans. All right, so in this painting, you can see this is her, Maria Jacoba van Gogh, and she obviously looks like a so-called black woman. All right, but they don't want you to stick to that. They want you to be niggas and ratchet and low. And instead of understanding that we were noble at one point, you know, and we're coming back into the understanding of that the right way through Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because best believe Jake was going off in this time period. Even if we were in power, all right, we were going the hell off. But the facts stand as they are. All right, here you go. It says Queen Charlotte Sophie of Mecklenburg, 1744 to 1818, wife of George III, described by others in her time as a true mulatto face, brown or yellow. Right, so you had Jakes that were, you know, some were light skinned, some were darker. All right. You might have certain Jakes that look like myself or you so-called Latino brothers, you know. But ultimately, the seed going back to the father, we know, like, look at this guy, you know. This guy, Moritz Huygens, older brother of Constantine Huygens. One of the most famous poets in the golden century. Yeah, Jake has that soul. You see? Yep, there it is. You know, nice looking Jake woman right there. You have a Moor, all right, 1619 to 1673. Most people do not realize how many pictures exist of Moors in Europe. See? Why the love of Moors? Because the Moors are ruling. Names, family crest, geographical indications, all references to the Moors according to Godfrey. Others regarded as a picture of a servant. Of course, you know, they're going to try to others, aka Esau. You know, go back to the comments real quick. Yep. This is in his likeness, Yasharallah. The brother put Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And that's what they did. They oppressed us and our heritage. All right. It wasn't enough for us to be in slavery. Then they had to beat the fact that we are Israel out of us. All right. They had to come down on us. All right. But that's all right because the Lord brought us back, and that's the miraculous work. All right. He brought us back into the understanding of who we are. Jeremiah 12:9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. Right. When you look into that word speckled bird, it's a multicolored bird. All right. Because Israel does come in many different shades of brown. Even certain Jakes will look like Edomites, but you know, the spirit bears witness. All right. Let's see. Yep. Portrait of an African man, which we know is really talking about a Judite or a Benjaminite. All right, or a Levite. Okay, this look like brother I'm cool with. This kind of a little bit look like Yahweh Sop. the brother from GMS main camp. Yeah, or a few different brothers with the beard. You see what I'm saying? So clearly, this is us, man. All right. It says a painting of a black African. All right, really a black Jew in European clothing with sword portrayed as a Burgundian nobleman from that period. All right, the self-conscious attitude, clothes, and rich attributes demonstrate a successful assimilation of this man within the cultural norms of the European Renaissance. Now, the way that they try to frame it is that it was a few black people midst in the midst, but no, in reality, you so-called blacks were ruling Europe. All right. Now, our forefathers, we so-called Latino brothers, we were on the other side of the world. All right, we were already in the Americas. All right, so we had dominion over this land. All right, but when it comes to Europe, all right, you had the so-called black Jews. All right, otherwise known as the Moors, which that word Moor means black as well. All right, moreno in Spanish. All right, now let's read this too. All right, blue blood is black blood. Okay, it says here, Edmund Godfrey, right? This is the same guy. Blue Blood is Black Blood by Edmund Godfrey. During the Middle Ages, black people in Europe were called blue men. There seem to be images of this period which show blue people. I know of a Renaissance crucifixion scene with a light blue Jesus. All right, we know his real name is Yahushua. In the Renaissance, we start seeing many, many images of blacks called the Moor. All right, jump a little bit down. Yep, I want to read this part right here, or right here. Yeah, when you study the symbol of the Moor from the Renaissance, you will find that it did not start out like a black servant or a black page. The drape jewel, which was made in 1575, shows the profile of a black king dominating the profile of a white woman. Woo, they heard about that. That's why Esau really be mad when they see Jake with an Edomite woman. All right, because it really stirs something up in him. All right. This symbolizes Africa dominating Europe and black superiority in Europe. Okay? These are all facts. All right? All these things can be looked up. The symbol of the Moor shows a blue man, which is a black man and means blue blood. We see many portraits of the nobility in which they pose very intimate with a little black boy or girl, which gives the sitter riches, mostly pearls, which seems to symbolize Europe. The nobility was colored, and some showed more African or Asian or white traits. These portraits are kept hidden or are destroyed around the French Revolution, right? Because Esau wanted to destroy, all right? And there's a lot of good info here, all right? And a lot of these websites I have found through this little bit of research, all right? And that's why this image makes perfect sense. Denzel playing Macbeth, which is a Scottish king, makes perfect sense. Now, I'm going to go into some history on that as well. All right, I had looked up the Russian icons. All right, more evidence. Okay, and when you go into the Russian icons, all right, this is a famous. It says Black Madonna art print, Our Lady of Shestoshua. I don't know how to pronounce that. All right, Black Virgin Mary, Black Yahushai, African American folk art, vintage religious icon. See, this isn't just something that somebody just recently made. This is a historical image. All right. And this is it right here. And it's in Poland. And that goes to show you that a lot of our people are over there too, in Poland. All right. Black Madonna of Częstochowa. Now, I actually in college had a Polish roommate, and I was always cool with him. And looking back, he's most likely a Jake, you know. But here it says the Black Madonna of Częstochowa. Okay. It says, also known as Our Lady of Częstochowa, is a venerated icon of the Blessed Virgin Mary, housed at the Gasna Gora Monastery in Częstochowa, Poland. All right, several pontiffs have recognized the venerated icon, beginning with Pope Clement XI, who issued a canonical coronation to the image on September 8, 1717, via the Vatican chapter. It has also merited 3 pontifical golden roses to date. All right, so very well known. All right, Black Madonna. All right, there you have it. All right, more evidence. All right, we can go on and on with this. All right, let me go to the let me grab a quick precept. Matter of fact, because I want to get this in Revelation. All right, let's grab it. Matter of fact, I got it right in front of me. Revelation 13. All right, let's go ahead and grab this. Revelation 13 and 5. All right, it mentions this is all about what? The seven heads and the 10 horns, which is this rebirth of the Roman Empire. All right, it mentions these Edomite empires. All right, which it mentions the leopard. I'm not going to go into all of this, but I'm going to touch upon the point. All right, the third verse says, "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast." All right, so you have during the Renaissance time period, okay, you had these Edomites come into power. The Lord put the spirit on them to overtake us. And what they did was they painted over those images, all right, and it's going to mention it. And they worshiped the dragon, all right, which is talking about the ancient pagan Roman Empire, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, "Who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him?" Right. The beast is talking about NATO and the EU, all right, which is all the Edomite power structure. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. Sixth verse, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name. All right, they gave you a false name. All right, and his tabernacle, all right, which is his people, specifically the elect, and them that dwell in heaven. How did he do that? Okay, he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. He lied and made the images of Israel into Edomite images, all right? Leprous images, which we just went into Exodus 4 and 6. Another good one is Numbers 12 and 10. All right, so this is what they did. They blasphemed against the Most High, all right? They made the Most High to look like a so-called white man, all right? They lied on his name. They made his people to look like Edomites, all right, leprous, all right, and they made even the angels to look like little Edomite babies. All right, so this is all prophecy that came to pass. All right, let's see. That's a good point. This brother said in his likeness, Yasharala, Europe equals Princess Europa, Israelite. That's right. That's right. All right, now let's go ahead and grab this. Yep. In his likeness, Yasharala, Jeremiah 14 and 2, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. All right, comparing them to the color of the ground, which dirt is what color? Brown. And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. All right, now they'll say, "Oh, well, let's talk about them mourning." All right, well, hold on a second. Just hold on 1 second. Let's look this up in a blue letter Bible. Let's see. All right. Revelation. Oh no, not Revelation. Jeremiah 14. Let's see what the word there for black says. All right. We're talking about mourning. Hold on a second. Let's see what it says. All right. Quadar, H6937. Yep. I know a brother named Quadar. Shalom to that brother. A few brothers have that name actually. Quadar. It says to mourn, be dark, to be dark. That's what it's really going into. Dark colored. Okay. Ashy. Who gets ashy? Okay. Who gets ashy? So-called black people. I didn't talk about no Edomites. Okay. By implication, to mourn. See, they just throwing that in there. Now, the verse is talking about mourning, but that particular word, all right, blackish, be blackish, you see? It's referring to skin color, all right? It is referring to skin color. All right. Let's see. Yep. Job 30 and 30. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat. Let's get that one in the Hebrew. Let's see. Black. Yep. There it is. Another one. All right. H7835. Shahar. Or Salaki. It's Shahar. All right. And it says to be black of skin. All right. Ain't no getting around it. Ain't no getting around it, man. All right. Referring to, yep. Oh, it says coal. What color is coal? Dark. Okay. It's really, brown, but, you know, Songs of Solomon 1 and 10. Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, thy neck with chains of gold. Right. Going into, Jacob is rocking the gold teeth and like them chains and all that. So of course Solomon was a so-called black man. That ain't even, that shouldn't even be surprising. But to these people, because they've been so brainwashed, we just went into Revelation 13 that they lied. They blasphemed against the Most High in His name and His tabernacle and those that dwell in heaven. All right, so they lied and they made themselves to look at like those images. And this is a concerted effort over hundreds of years. Really, we just read in Maccabees, so over thousands of years, these devils have been trying to put themselves in that position. All right. Whitewash. Yep. And deliberately, this is the brother in his likeness, Shasharala. Whitewash. It says, deliberately attempt to conceal unpleasant or incriminating facts about someone or something. Right. And who's the most famous for that? Esau. All right. So we went into these images, the Black Madonna, Macbeth, all right, it says 11th century. That's when it took place. It's set during Macbeth is set during the 11th century in Scotland, which is this movie. All right. Now going into some history on Macbeth, let's read about it. All right. Now that right there is Macbeth. He looked like a straight up Jake. All right. Macbeth was a king of the Scots whose rule was marked by efficient government and the promotion of Christianity. You see, Jake was all into that Christianity even back then. All right. And now, it's plantation Christianity. All right. But all of it was off anyways. All right. But who is best known as the murderer and usurper in William Shakespeare's tragedy? All right. Which is, it's an interesting story. Brothers can check it out. I'm going to probably check out that movie too, because Denzel, he kills everything that he's in. But it says here, Shakespeare's Macbeth bears little resemblance to the real 11th century Scottish king. All right, so it's loosely based on him, but this is the real figure that it was based on. All right, so it would be accurate to depict him as this man or a man of this nationality. All right, which Denzel Washington is of the tribe of Judah. Okay, and it says, yep, Macbethad McFinlash, known in English as Macbeth, was born in around 1005. His father was Finlay Mormaer of Moray, and his mother, it is a Jake singer named Moray. All right, that's heavy. And his mother may have been Donata, second daughter of Malcolm II. All right, Mormaer was literally a high steward of one of the ancient Celtic provinces of Scotland, but in Latin documents, the word is usually translated as comes, which means earl. All right, just a little history on Macbeth. Now, let me see. No, not this. This is not what I wanted. Oh, this right here. This is a book called The Negro Rulers of Scotland and the British Isles. Now, they might go ahead and jack the price up just because this video or other brothers focusing on this topic. Either way, I'm surprised that the price is that low. All right, but it says the Dr. Johnson's work has become vital for readers who seek an understanding of the origin of man and Africa's contribution to the Bible and natural history. It's really not Africa. Africa is the name of a so-called white man. So even when our people find out the truth, they're still confused. But the Lord's is the one that blinded them. But this truth comes out nonetheless. All right. His research has polarized Africa as the birthplace of mankind. All right, which is not true. Whom throughout the ages migrated to the remote regions on the earth. The author makes emphasis that during the great African migration, the concept of the wheel, mathematics, the alphabet, reading, writing, philosophy, science, astrology, astronomy, fine arts, family hierarchy, bureaucracy, parenthesis, government, king, queen, dynastic rule, huge universities, great cities, and churches were rudiments brought out of Africa. Really, the Moors, which are black Jews, all right, keep going with this Africa BS, all right, and spread throughout the world. That's why we got to thank the Lord for this truth, man, because we see the lies of everything, every little detail. We know truth from falsehood, all right, and spread throughout the world. A marvelous accomplishment that led to the ultra structure of Western civilization. Yeah, so even for your kingdom, Esau, you have Jake to thank. All right, how do you thank us? With oppression? But it's all right. We're gonna pay you right back. All right, this text highlights the earliest African rulers of Scotland, Southern Ireland, and the United Kingdom, a chronicle that focuses upon the Alpin dynasty from Kenneth MacAlpin and his great-great-grandson Kenneth Dub, or Kenneth the Niger, nigger. Really, that's the way to pronounce it. Some people say Niger is really nigger. All right. Black Duff or Duffy, whose descendants of different appearances continue to rule Scotland, England, Ireland, and other nations of Europe even unto this day. Now, Kenneth, the nigger right here, right? I want to read this in Acts. All right, I'm gonna just grab it from the sword because I got it right here. Acts 13:1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger or nigger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. All right, so even back then, Jake was being referred to as that. All right. All right, so this is a book, lady brothers might want to look into getting this book, because I'm sure there's a lot more great information in there. Now, this particular individual, Kenneth Dubb, all right, I looked him up. Okay, this is him. All right, now I'm gonna read this from Ancient Black History, and I'm gonna close out. Get a little bit more of this. Point has been made, but let's grab some of this. All right, this is from the website ancientblackhistory.blogspot.com. It says Scottish Kings Indulf Dub Mac Malcolm. It says Ildub Mac Cosantin, Anglicized as Indulf, nickname An Ion Sagthai. It's hard to say that. The aggressor was King of Scots from 954. He was the son of Constantine II, Constantine Mac Aida. His mother may have been a daughter of Earl Eudulf of Bernicia, who was exiled in Scotland. All right, yada yada. I want to read down. This is what I wanted to get. Dub, King of Scotland. All right, let's read this. Dub MacMalcolm. It says, sometimes Anglicized as Dub MacMalcolm, called Den the Vehement and Nigger the Black, all right, was king of Alba. He was son of Malcolm I and succeeded to the throne when Indulf was killed in 962. Okay, and these are all clearly Jakes, Israelites, all right, so-called black men. Okay, it says the history and legends of Scotland confirm the existence of purely black people. We see one of them in the person of Kenneth the Nigger. All right. During the 10th century, Kenneth the Nigger ruled over 3 provinces in the Scottish Highlands. The archaeologist and writer David McRitchie declared that the Moors dominated Scotland as late as the time of the Saxon kings. He stated with scholarly authority, so late as the 10th century, 3 of these provinces were wholly black. Woo! You gotta look up this guy, David McRitchie. It says, were wholly black, and the supreme ruler of these became for a time the paramount king of transmarine Scotland. We see one of the black people, the Moors of the Romans, in the person of a king of Alban of the 10th century. Even with all of Esau's lies, these figures still rise to the surface. So how much more is there that has been hidden? All right. History knows him as Kenneth, sometimes as Dub and as Nigger. We know as a historic fact that a Nigger Val Dub has lived and reigned over certain black divisions of our island and probably white divisions also, and that a race known as the Sons of the Black succeeded him in history. Come on, man. What more do you need to know? All right. And now, obviously, when you had men like this, all right, having Edomite women as concubines, what happened? All right. They may be lighter. So a lot of Scottish men nowadays, they look like, they may even look like Edomites, but going back to their father's lineage, all right, a lot of them go back to Jake, all right, Israelites. All right, so that's basically it for the lesson. No more precepts up. Points been made. I'm gonna end it right there. Infinite praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Dash. All right, Lord's will, this was edifying. And I don't want Ratazak to catch up on the next one. All right, Shalom.